What would you do if you woke up in the morning and your kid had just vanished? April 5th, 1986 was a Saturday night, and Penny went out on the town with her friends. She left her 3 kids alone with a babysitter. Antoinette was 9, and her 2 younger siblings, Sadie and Wendy. Penny arrived home around midnight, and she sent the babysitter home and went to bed. The next morning, she woke up and she checked on the girls, and Antoinette was just gone. She had just vanished. Penny looked all around the neighborhood, but she couldn't find her, so she called police right away. This was super unusual. Her oldest kid was responsible, and she never would do anything like this. She got good grades in school, she was polite, she loved Bible study, and she helped take care of her sisters. She would iron clothes and cook when her mother couldn't. Now, police dropped the ball on this investigation, to say the least. They waited 4 long days to even search the home. Meanwhile, Penny told some family members that there was one thing that was kind of strange. A man that went by Emo had given her daughter, Antoinette, flowers the last 3 days in a row. Yeah, that's strange. This case went cold pretty fast. I don't know if police just didn't do anything, or if there wasn't enough evidence or what, but we don't have another update until a year later. A year later, the police got a call from someone saying that Antoinette was in Albuquerque. Before they could trace the call, they heard a man's voice say, "Who told you could use the phone?" And then there was a scream and a scuffle before the line went dead. Again, we don't get an update until 5 years later, when Wendy is old enough to say her side of the story. And her side is a little bit different. Wendy, who is now 10, say that she heard a knock at the door. Antoinette, who was still awake, answered the door. I guess she called out and said, "Who is it?" And the person on the other side of the door said it was Uncle Joe. Then when she opened up the door, someone just grabbed her, took her, and ran. Antoinette kept saying, let me go," but they put her into a brown van. Now, Wendy said that she didn't come forward with this because she didn't want to upset her mom, and her other sister, Sadie, was not sure that there was a knock at the door at all. So there was a lot of different accounts going on, and things were getting very weird. Things got even weirder when Penny changed her story. This time, she told police that there was a knock at the door, and she told Antoinette to answer it. She said this was between 3:30 and 4:30 a.m. After she told Antoinette to answer the door, she laid there just thinking that she would come back, and she never did. She said she waited about 30 minutes and it was getting light outside. But that was kind of impossible because it got light about 7 a.m. and that was about 3:30 or 4:30, so there's some time missing in her story. It got even more suspicious when Penny asked the officers one very strange question. What if me and Emo did this? Would we both go to prison? Yeah. She said that it was Emo who had planned the abduction, and she just kind of went along with it. Emo told her it was better if she didn't know. She admitted to knowing that he was going to knock at the door and that he was going to take Antoinette, and she knew all along. Despite thinking that and knowing that she had something to do with it, she was never charged. Most likely what happened to Antoinette was that she was taken by Emo, and that is a whole nother thing. But that Penny knew that this was going to happen. How could a mother know? How? What? Penny had failed the lie detector test, and it to this point was like, okay, where is she? But she said she didn't know, and Antoinette has never been found. So there is a small chance that Antoinette could still be out there. She could have been SA'd or trafficked, we don't know, but she still could be out there. There's a small chance that she's still on this planet. There have been some sightings of her, so it is a possibility. There was one especially that was very interesting. This was in 1991. This waitress at a local diner said that a couple came in with a girl that matched the description of Antoinette. This girl, I guess, tried to keep getting attention. She would drop things, she would say something very loudly. She just kept trying to draw attention to herself. I guess one time when the waitress was there, she grabbed her hand really tightly. And then after, I guess there was a note that said, "Help me," and call police. Which, I went down a rabbit hole, because if this was not Antoinette, who is this girl? Does she need help? And if it is Antoinette, has they been questioned? Did they find them? Like, what came of this? And I can't find anything. Fortunately, I do think Emo was grooming Antoinette. It seemed that he was giving her flowers often. The sisters said that they saw Antoinette like sitting on Emo's lap. He kept coming around. He was Mom's friend. And so I think he was trying to get to her. And for whatever reason, I think Penny let it happen. And I think Penny knew that she was going to be with Emo, and she just turned her daughter over to this man, whether Antoinette wanted it or not. And she couldn't consent because she was a child. The whole thing is sickening. Like, it makes my stomach turn just to think about the fact that there was a predator so close. Not only that he took her, but that the mom allowed it to happen. How? It makes me sick to think about. Like, I lay in bed and wonder how this decision was made. Now, like I said, Antoinette is still missing. She's never been found, so she's still a missing person. So if you have any information, maybe she's out there, we could bring her home and find out what happened and maybe put some people behind bars that need to be there. If you want to hear more disappearances like this, please click that follow button and that like button and that share button and all the buttons on the side. Because I am doing a series on missing people and strange missing people and disappearances. So if you'd like to see more, please click that follow button. I also did a series on just strange true crime cases. So if you want to go watch that, it's up and ready for you. And I will see you next time with another strange disappearance. Hopefully, unless I disappear.